10 protesters arrested in the Ablekuma deplorable road demonstration.
Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, considers strike following implementation of cargo tracking note policy.
Trades Union Congress, TUC, kicks against National Cathedral Project.
Also coming up in the news tonight, President Akufo-Addo launches maiden oil and gas licensing round bid evaluation.
And on the international front this evening, UK Prime Minister Theresa May calls for calm, insisting a Brexit deal is still achievable.
Right, we have all the details, including sports and entertainment, coming up this hour. Stay with us as we begin the news straight away. 10 protesters in Ablekuma deplorable road demonstration in Accra have been arrested. Irate youth from 4 adjoining communities blocked roads and burned ties to express their frustration over what they described as government insensitivity towards their plight.
Residents of Ablekuma hit the roads to protest what they described as killer roads in the area. According to them, the rainy season makes the situation worse and cuts them off from the rest of Accra.
We've been complaining several times about the poor nature of the road here from Bokoboko leading to Mahia. And in fact, we have not seen anything. We have not seen anything here. So today, we are demonstrating for the government also to know that we have a problem here. We ask permission from the police, and the police say we should hold on. This is not a demonstration. It's awareness that we are creating for them to know that we have a problem. But if it is demonstration, we will start from Bokoboko up to Mahia. And I tell you yourself, you cannot even get here.
The lawmaker is not being affected by what is happening here. Don't you think that you are rather affecting the residents of the area?
You are right. That is why we have stopped for now.
They mounted roadblocks and burned car tires to prevent drivers from plying the road, leaving passengers stranded.
Manya, Isakina, Oduma, Joma. In fact, Ablekuma Road from Ablekuma.
This road goes as far as Kaswa and Kumasi. The road is terrible. It destroys our cars. Even pregnant women miscarry on this road.
The youth said after several years, the Ablekuma curve to a former road is yet to be reconstructed and called for a permanent solution to the problem. They rejected the reshaping, which they argued ends up worsening their plight, and served notice to continue with the protest until their problem is addressed.
We'll stay on that and bring you some more on it in our subsequent bulletins. But on to some other stories this evening. The Ghana Revenue Authority says it is going ahead with the implementation of the cargo tracking notes system. The Commissioner General of the GRA said effective today, October 15, importers whose imports exceed 36 20-footer containers per year will be required to obtain a CTN number in the country of origin.
The cargo tracking note policy seeks to address undervaluation of shipment, concealment of higher-rated products, deliberate misclassification of shipment by importers, manipulation of detail of port of origin, volume and weight misrepresentation, and over-invoicing of shipment.
Effective today, 15th October 2018, importers whose imports from records exceed 36 20-foot equivalent units per year will be required to obtain a CTN number in the country of export.
According to the Ghana Revenue Authority, adequate engagement with stakeholders has been made, and that 95% of importers in the country will not be affected by the policy. It said the 5% of importers who will be affected are those who import more than 36 20-footer containers per year, accounting for about 65% of containers brought into the country.
So the 95% of the traders are not going to go through the CTN. So it means there will not be any quota, there will not be any code, they are not going to go through any restrictions. They are going to do their business as usual. What they are doing now is what they are going to do. But then the 5% would cater for 65% of the TUs or the containers. What is going to happen is that we are going to write them individually and inform them that henceforth they are coming with their container covered by CTN.
The GRA emphasized that there will be no charges for the CTN.
Government is not going to charge them any fees. So as I speak, we have not had any resistance coming from the traders. If you don't bring it, custom is not going to work on your documentations. Then, of course, demurrage will kick in, and then you will suffer. And when you suffer, next time it will help you to go and bring CTN on your containers, especially those who are qualified to come out with CTN.
On the pending lawsuit, the Commissioner General indicated that he has not been served.
State here now that the petitioner never handed me, not sent me a copy. I don't know the petitioner. So that information is wrong. If he stated that he personally served me, that's untrue.
According to the GRA, $14.5 million of revenue has been realized from under declaration of goods since it started piloting the system from July.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Union of Traders Association has described the implementation of the cargo tracking note system as illegal. According to the national organizer of the association, Clement Boateng, the CTN is not backed by law, emphasizing it is just a select few who are bent on implementing it for their own selfish gains.
Though the Ghana Revenue Authority has pointed out that there have been adequate consultation with stakeholders, Guta insists the authority has failed to address their concern.
With regards to the cost, at one point they say GRA is going to bear the cost. At another point they say the importer is going to bear the cost. You see, so they've been back and forth with the issues of the legal aspect. They've not been able to say anything about it. They have said government has rights, to do anything. But we all know that when it comes to the issues of revenue in this country, revenue collection in this country, it must be backed by law. And the only place that you have to go, for it to be assented to is the parliament. Yes. So they have not been able to, answer some of these questions that we have raised.
The association is considering a strike.
If they are talking about revenue generation, we don't have anything against it, but the issues that we have raised is what they must address. And even if they are talking about this generation, there is this revenue generation, there is already a system in place. That is the PAA, that is the pre-arrival assessment system is already in place, and they also have a manifest system in place that all goes to check these loopholes that they are talking about. So what is their beef? So we think it's just a group of people who want to, by all means, try as much as possible to implement this CTN for their own selfish benefit, and we think it is not right for Ghanaians.
Now, the Trades Union Congress, TUC, has kicked against the National Cathedral Project. Its Deputy Secretary General, Joshua Ansah, described the intended project as a misplaced priority on the part of government following what he termed as the economic challenges confronting the country. He spoke with our reporter, Daniel Opoku.
The TUC was reacting to the decision by government to construct a 5,000-seater national cathedral. Last week, the President Nana Akufo-Addo defended the initiative, describing it as a national priority. But the TUC is of a different view.
We are not saying building a cathedral is a bad idea, but what we are saying is that let us do first things first. We think that the first thing is to increase employment. First is to ensure that people live happily in this very country, ensure that national health insurance works.
Though government has indicated the Christian community would have to fund the project, he doubted government's insistence that it would not allocate any public funds towards it.
We think that there's some kind of hypocrisy amongst the Christian community here. There are people who go to church who cannot even afford 3 square meals a day. There are church members who cannot eat even 1 square meal a day. But here are the pastors and the priests and the bishops and the rest who have now gotten money to contribute to this. We think that if even the money is not coming from the national purse and it's coming from individuals, those monies can be channeled through other social amenities to benefit everybody.
He warned the TUC would initiate a campaign against it to protect the public purse if government does not reconsider its decision.
So you want the president to suspend this exercise?
I should think so. That fine, it can come later on when things are normalized. Everybody is complaining about the economic hardship in this country. Everybody is complaining about social amenities in this country. So we think that first things first. If all these things are settled, then when you are building a cathedral, people will support you to do whatever cathedral you want to put up.
The TUC has since indicated plans to convene a meeting with the president on the matter.
Now, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee has cast doubts over government claims it transferred an amount of 403.74 million cedis into the Treasury single account in 2017. This follows claims by PIAC that government through the Finance Ministry did not account for the said amount being an unspent portion of the annual budget funding amount.
A fiscal inspection carried out by PIAC on oil-funded projects in 2016 revealed that for 5 years, the Finance Minister had failed to fully comply with Sections 48 Clause 2B of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act 2011, which enjoins the Minister to provide updates on the stage of implementation of oil-funded projects as part of its reconciliation report to Parliament. PIAC has accused the Finance Ministry of failing to properly account for oil funds, but government, in a response to the allegation, said the amount of 403.74 million cedis had been transferred into the Treasury single account in 2017 in accordance with Sections 46 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, an assertion strongly contested by PIAC.
The inability of government to account for the money properly. We wrote to the ministry, and that was about 4 months ago, asking for explanation as to what had happened to the money in question, which is about 403.74 million Ghana cedis. The ministry in its account to PIAC did not actually say a word about that money. It only reported that indeed it has received slightly in excess of 700 million Ghana cedis for spending through the budget in that particular year. And by close of year, according to its own account, it had managed to spend a little over 300 million, leaving a balance of 403.74 million. The ministry has not, to date, responded to our letter.
The chairman of PIAC also challenged government to show proof of the account.
The argument is this: we don't know about the Treasury single account, but if indeed the money is being kept there, then we want evidence. So really, we think that as PIAC, the government still have answers to give us in terms of how the 403.74 million has been expended.
Now, government is to secure 250 billion cedis as taxes from mobile money transfers by the end of the year. Minister for Business Development, Dr. Mohammed Awal, who made this known at the launch of Ghana Online Mall in Accra, said part of the amount would be used to support 1,350 trained entrepreneurs to start their businesses.
The Ghana Online Mall is expected to assist startups showcase their handmade products. It would also assist them to engage in competition with other business partners across the globe. The online platform is also geared towards boosting investor confidence among the business community. Currently, access to funds have remained a major setback affecting businesses in the country. That notwithstanding, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan (NEP) has trained 7,000 startups, of which 1,350 of them would be provided with funds to start their businesses. Minister for Business Development, Dr. Mohammed Awal, spoke about capitalizing on funds from mobile money transfers to support startup businesses.
2017 alone, 156 billion was traded mobile money, and for 2018, we're estimating over 250 billion. The mobile interoperability that we started last year has clocked 1 million users.
Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafuewa, is confident the online mall will create adequate jobs for Ghanaians.
The online mall platform, which will be a pool of services providers, especially for our students, unemployed graduates, busy moms, artisans, and all those who can offer some form of services in the comfort of their homes.
The Ghana Online Mall is expected to complement all digital platforms spearheaded by government.
great idea. Let's see how it goes. You're watching News 360, and on MTN Video Report tonight, our citizen journalist Prince David reports from Hohe Blave, a district in the Volta region, on overflowing bean.
This rubbish container has been here for the past 1 week. It is supposed to be carried every Monday of the week. Today is Thursday, and look at how the whole place is looking nasty. Meanwhile, it is located in the midst of houses around. All these buildings are houses, and this is the Muzama Basic School. Now, the assembly member is aware of this problem. We have spoken to him severally, but nothing seemed to be done about it. I am Prince David, making this video coverage from Hohe Blave.
Prince David from Hohe Blave. You can also tell us about your community and what's going on there. Send your video report via WhatsApp on 0551 433 044.
Stay with us here on News 360. We've got the business news coming up with Parkwesi Asari shortly.
Hello, very good evening to you and warm welcome to the Business Report on News 360. My name is Parkwesi Asari. To our first story, President Akufo-Addo has launched the maiden oil and gas licensing round bid evaluation in Accra. The licensing round is expected to allow for the open bidding and exploration of oil by both local and foreign companies.
Under the current Petroleum Exploration and Petroleum Act 2016, Act 919, exploration and production rights will now be awarded through an open, transparent and competitive tendering process, also known under the law as the licensing round. Minister for Energy, Peter Amewu, assured Ghanaians the ministry has repositioned the oil sector to become one of the fastest growing within the sub-region.
We have finalized a new blueprint and a roadmap for accelerating upstream activity with a view to attracting competent companies and increase our potentials of scaling up oil and gas production in the country. This is the main objective of this licensing round, which is in line with the vision of the government under the leadership of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
President Akufo-Addo said government will use oil revenue to create assets to build the country's future human resources to promote development.
If we are to sustain and broaden the scope of our social interventions that rely on petroleum revenues, we must consciously work to increase crude oil production. With the last discovery and the last exploration well drilled in 2014, it is obvious that the pace of oil exploration has slowed considerably. Given that production is taking place at a faster rate than reserves are being added, we need to reverse this state of affairs immediately.
The move also fulfills the country's plan to increase the production of oil and gas to generate more revenue for development, while ensuring greater transparency and value for money in oil resource utilization.
In other news, Minister of Tourism Catherine Afeku has unveiled a 4-point action plan in Accra to boost tourism between Ghana and China. The initiative, dubbed I Go Ghana, will include the issuance of digital visas and the building of budget-friendly hotels to make travel between the two countries easy and affordable.
The I Go Ghana initiative is a partnership among the Tourism Ministry, the International Commercial Bank of China, and Standard Bank. The collaboration is expected to promote trade and tourism between Ghana and China. Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Catherine Afeku, said the bilateral relationship between Ghana and China has come of age.
Ghana has a 3S that we always trumpet. It's secure, it is safe, and it's a smiling nation. Visa acquisition is not seamless. Building highway rest stops, building affordable hotels, not as a ministry building, but spearheading it through private-public partnership.
The Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Wang Shiting, noted that China is committed to developing infrastructure, expand trade and promote tourism.
According to research, in 2017, the number of the Chinese tourists to Africa is more than 30 million present time, and they spent more than $20 billion in Africa.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, among other innovations, proposed a currency swap to reduce the trade reliance on the United States dollar.
Now, President Akufo-Addo says government will give equal opportunities to investors regardless of their country of origin. Speaking at the 2018 UK-Ghana Investment Summit in Ghana, the president debunked assertions that Ghana has ignored investors from the West opting to do business with China.
50 UK companies participated in the third edition of the UK-Ghana Investment Summit to discuss opportunities in Ghana with government and private sector partners. There will be high-level discussions in trade and investment in the infrastructural, industrial and manufacturing sectors. UK Minister of State for Trade and Export, Baroness Fairhead, said UK-Ghana investment relations will now focus on trading relations on common values and equal shared goals.
The President's vision to take Ghana beyond aid is ambitious and is compelling. It's based on that economic transformation of diversification, industrialization, such as the One District, One Factory initiative, and closer integration with global supply chains. This vision is one we are keen to partner on. It's what this summit is all about.
President Akufo-Addo said Ghana is ready for business and urged UK investors to take advantage of the growing business climate to invest in the country.
We welcome the readiness of the world's second largest economy to provide Ghana with the needed credit and technology to accelerate our development. At the same time, we believe it is the constant duty of government to get the most competitive deal for Ghana. I just want to emphasize that my government is giving equal access to all investors to compete freely and fairly in the Ghanaian economy, irrespective of where they come from.
The summit will also explore other avenues to strengthen the strategic partnership between the two countries on economic development and job creation.
Well, that's it for the very latest in the world of business. For more news, log on to our website, www.3news.com. My name is Pa Kwesi Asari. Over to you, Issa Money.
Thank you, Pa Kwesi. Let's move on with other stories on NEWS360 tonight. PZ Cussons Ghana, a global manufacturer of personal care products and an active player in the global hand-washing movement, has marked this year's Global Hand-Washing Day. This year's celebration focuses on the links between hand-washing, food hygiene, and nutrition.
October 15 is observed as Global Hand-Washing Day. This year's theme focuses on the links between hand-washing and food, including food hygiene and nutrition. Management and staff of PZ Cussons spent the day at the Las Palmas Eatery at Medina, educating people on the importance of hand-washing and pressing home the need to practice good hygiene.
It's still about health and it's still about the importance of washing your hands, but this time we are concentrating on food hygiene. So Carex has Carex hand sanitizers as well as hand wipes. So in the situations where you find yourself where you don't even have water to wash your hands and soap to wash your hands, we have products which you can use on the go to still maintain the hand hygiene culture.
Contestants of TV3's flagship reality show, Ghana's Most Beautiful, interacted with the gathering and took them through proper hand-washing techniques. A medical officer at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Emilia Babio, underscored the importance of proper hand washing.
wohoro ekwan na dia on santem ni uri a obekọ won sechi say no wohoro on sanechi wohoro on sanechi na wohoro ekwan na dia on santem no.
The Global Hand Washing Day 2018 was on the theme
Clean Hands, a Recipe for Health. Carex cleans, cares and protects for healthy skin.
Let's stay on issues of hand washing, as Unilever Ghana has marked this year's Global Hand Washing Day with a festival dubbed High Five for Hand Washing in Accra. The event was to teach 1 million children the proper way in hand washing.
An estimated 94% of the diarrhea diseases are attributed to the environment and its associated risk factors such as unsafe drinking water, lack of proper sanitation, and poor hygiene. To commemorate the day, participants were updated on proper hand washing with one of Unilever's flagship brands, Lifebuoy soap. Managing Director of Unilever Ghana stressed the importance of hand washing with soap under running water.
For every high five that you give us, we are committed to teaching and educating 5 children in washing their hands with soap under running water. So if you want Unilever to educate over 1 million, then you know how many high five you need to give us.
Wife of the Vice President, Samira Bawumia, commended Unilever for promoting good health and hygiene.
Let us aim to always wash our hands with soap each time we eat and use the toilet, especially. To achieve this target, we need a renewed effort and commitment from all of us here.
Minister Designate for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Cynthia Morrison, said the ministry will explore the possibility of partnering with Unilever to extend the initiative to other regions. Head of Communications and Sustainability, Henry Mam, underscored the need to imbibe hand-washing habits among children. This year's event was scaled up as there was a concurrent event in Cape Coast to commemorate the day.
Definitely you need to wash your hands clean before you do anything. You're watching NEWS360. We'll return shortly with sports news with Nana Kujafre.
Good evening. Welcome back to NEWS360 here on TV3. My name is Anako Jafre with the sports updates. Let's get into the details now. And the Accra Sports Stadium is 90% ready to host the 2018 Africa Women's Championship with a month to the start of the tournament. That is according to the project manager in charge of renovation of the stadium, Osei Bidiako Mohammed. And Eke Amankwa has more of the story.
The Accra Sports Stadium is ready to host the Africa continent again. The facility has been shut down for about 6 months to put it in shape for the 2018 Africa Women's Championship. And while a lot of talk has centered around the readiness of the facilities, officials in charge of the renovation insist everything will be fine. Officials say they have spent $12.5 million on the renovation of the stadium, upgrading it structurally and working on the pitch. Kube Ghana, who have been working on the project, say the structure will be ready to host the opening game on November 17th.
For us to finish before the tournament, that is 100% possible. We've just started September and we are finishing in October. So we'll finish before the November this. If it is about hosting for the this on the 17th of November, that one we are 100% sure. You see that all the structural work over.
The seating at the Independence Square and the Conference Center end of the stadium is being upgraded, and in response to concerns that rusting could wreck the stands, the contractors are reworking it. The VIP stand and media center are all being upgraded, as are the washrooms that was a major source of concern for visitors to the stadium.
Let's bring you news on the African continent as far as the 2019 AFCON qualifiers is concerned, and Kenya made a giant step towards the ambitions of making it to the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon after beating Ethiopia. Kenyan sports journalist Michael Kenya tells us the joy back home is overwhelming.
Kenya is in a celebratory mood. This is Nairobi. It's warm and sunny and very nice. From yesterday, everywhere, the newspapers, on TV, on radio, everybody is just celebrating. You should have seen the fans after the game. They are saying, you should now bring on Brazil. We are ready for any team in the world. But you can understand the euphoria of the fans after that emphatic win over Ethiopia. And the reason is simple. Kenyans know that 4 points from Ethiopia puts them in a very good position to qualify for the Cup of Nations. They know that Ethiopia would have been the greatest challenger to that second position or first position, depending on how Ghana play in these qualifiers, because of course Ghana the favorites to qualify as top of the group. So the second position was what was up for grabs. The situation of Sierra Leone does not worry Kenyans so much, because with 4 points and topping the group and being second in the group right now, they know that even if Sierra Leone are readmitted back into the qualifiers, they already lost 6 points to Ghana. Home and away points are already gone. It means they have to win at home against Ethiopia, and the most difficult is they have to come to Nairobi next month and pick up 3 points, meaning they will open up the game. They will not try and sit back. So that gives us an advantage, because once they open up the game, because they have to win, we also attack them and we shall win the game very easily. That is the long and short of it. But if Sierra Leone are not readmitted back by CAF, it means Kenya have already qualified.
On to our next story now, and Ghana forward David Akam will be out for up to 8 weeks after his Major League Soccer side Philadelphia Union confirmed the striker completed a successful hernia surgery. The 28-year-old will spend the next 2 months recuperating and will not be involved until early next year. The Ghana international had a surgery last Tuesday to fix the lingering effect of a sport hernia operation he underwent last November. Akam will be out of the field for up to 8 weeks, effectively ending his season. Let's do some boxing news now. And Floyd Money Mayweather appears to have accepted the challenge posed to him by UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib threw down the challenge in a video addressing Moneyman alongside CEO of Mayweather Promotions Leonard Elbe and said, "In the jungle there is only one king." The retired boxer responded in typical fashion, saying, "Let's make Las Vegas great again," and called on all major television networks to get their checkbooks out. And that's all the sports here on News 360. My name is Anako Jaffrey. Thanks very much for watching. But remember to join me on the sports station at 9 p.m. as we bring you the highlights and the best from the world of sports.
All right, so good evening. It's now time for some entertainment and lifestyle news with me, Nana Kwejuado. Now, the weekend was sparked as a Kuaping Mampong came alive as a 2018 Ohumujira Festival was climaxed with a street jam organized by Media General, TV3 Onya FM and 3FM. Now, the well-patronized event assembled some of Ghana's finest showstoppers and upcoming artists to entertain revelers.
The all-exciting music jam was powered by the Media General Group. Turnout was massive. Revelers who thronged the Mampong Township were thrilled with back-to-back performances by upcoming and homegrown talent. A Kuapem rapper and past winner of MTN Hitmaker, Kontakra was phenomenal on stage. Proving why he's counted among the best rappers in Ghana. Journeying all the way from Tema, the wedding car hitmaker, Daddy Opanka, relived the days of his all-time popular rap freestyle. Opanka really made the moment count, giving fans a reason to ask for more.
There
was never a dull moment in the week-long festivities.
All right, so thank you to the entire Piapin Mampong, Odadio Panka, Kontakra, and the sponsors in Upper Macro, CJ Multimedia, and everybody who helped make that event a success. Now, moving on to the next story, GMB's Upper West representative, Noor and Jifa from the Volta region could not survive Sunday night's eviction as contestants took turns to educate viewers on the need to practice good hygiene. The decision to kick out Jifa and Noor, according to judges, was informed by performance and accumulated votes. Here is Usura Rai's report.
This is the same water people in my region rely on. They drink from it, cook with it, yet none of you cares. 250 good lashes.
The honeymoon days for the contestants was over as the boys contestants faced their first eviction night. The thought of eviction echoed in the minds of the wannabe queens, but the fear of being shown the exit signs spurred on some contestants to put their best foot forward. Posing as sanitation and good hygiene ambassadors, contestants took turns to highlight the dangers in open defecation, littering and water pollution.
Let us always remember to wash our hands with soap and water at critical moments such as after visiting the toilet, after changing diaper, just like what Katma did. Let us stop open defecation, especially in our water bodies.
Contestants unanimously upheld the need to practice good personal hygiene. The poised contestants crafted and provided insightful messages around the theme, Water is Health. But hours of amazing performances, the hopes of Noor and Jifa to be crowned GMB queens were dashed.
We'll have to say goodbye to Noor and Jifa.
Say goodbye to Noor and Jifa, ladies, step forward.
An emotional and heartbreaking moment saw other contestants hug their evicted colleagues. Taking the bitter pill wasn't easy for Noor and Jifa.
Yes, it is hard, but that is what has happened. So I think God has a reason for everything. My coming here has a reason, and I think I've learned so far. We thank God for whatever has happened.
I just thank God for everything. God knows best, so I thank Him for everything.
They were appreciative, noting the show offered them the platform to discover themselves. Noor hinted her eviction from the show is not the end of her plans to impact her community.
It's about minimizing the rates of child marriage in my region, the Upper West region. That is a dream I am looking forward to achieving, so I will still work towards it.
Their chaperone, Nancy, was teary.
It's not been that long, but you know, people build bonds and it's hard to imagine not having them here.
The judges wished Jifa and Noor well, stressing the eviction was informed by their performance and votes.
You know, we score and then we give our feedback. That goes into your scoring. So that's one level. And then, of course, the votes as well. And it was interesting that we were both scoring, but that's what showed on our scores. Those two were the lowest scoring on our scores.
All right, so congratulations to Jifa and Noor for reaching that far. But that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of Entertainment News here on NEWS360 with me, Nana Kwedrado. Make sure you follow us anywhere. And of course, Alfred, Natalie and Abu.
Nice seeing you again on Entertainment on NEWS360. And that just about does it for this edition of NEWS360. I'm Isa Moni.
I'm Natalie Fort. Visit our website, 3news.com, for some more news. Remember, news at 10 later this evening will simulcast on our sister station, 3FM 92.7. Thanks so much for watching. Have a pleasant evening.